You've probably seen the headline. Smart glasses, facial recognition, real-time identification.
And most of the conversation jumps straight to surveillance. Privacy, dystopia.
But that's not the real shift.
The real shift is what happens when a stranger can instantly access your professional history, your recent posts, your network, before they even say hello.
Because fraud doesn't rely on hacking first.
It relies on context.
And when context becomes instant,
manipulation becomes immediate.
this isn't about dystopia.
It's about social engineering at scale.
And what that means for anyone with a public digital footprint. Preparing for this one was a little like reading a horror story where I realized halfway through that I was the one who left the door unlocked.
It's a bit of a wake-up call, isn't it?
It is a massive one. So today we're unpacking a source presentation called The Headline Isn't the Story. And the mission here is, I think, really specific. We need to move past that, that vague panic about cameras are everywhere and getting to the mechanics of what the source calls context weaponization.
I love that term. It's so precise because, when we talk about facial recognition, people's minds go straight to the government.
Right, Big Brother.
Yeah, the police or some state-level actor. But this source argues the real immediate danger isn't the state watching you from a satellite. It's the person standing next to you at the coffee shop who knows your entire resume before you've even ordered.
And I have to admit, I am the absolute target for this. I post the thrilled to announce updates on LinkedIn with all the details. I check in at the airport. I've basically provided a live feed of my entire professional life. I never thought of it as weaponizable until now.
You and millions of other people. And that's what makes this so critical. We're not talking about hacking in the old sense. We're talking about how totally public data, stuff you chose to share, completely changes its nature when it becomes accessible in a millisecond.
So let's start at the beginning. The source has this great section called The Shift. It contrasts the before world, which is, basically all of human history until right now, with the after world.
Right. Let's just paint that picture. So, before. Anonymity is the default. If I walk up to you on the street today, what do I actually know about you?
Almost nothing. You see my clothes, my face, maybe overhear me on the phone. That's it. It's a completely blank slate.
Exactly. A low-context environment. To learn more, I actually have to talk to you. I have to earn that information. Now look at the after scenario they describe. With this new hardware, the smart glasses, that's all gone. I look at you, and an overlay just appears.
And it's not just a name. The list in the source is, well, it's chilling. Full name, professional title, your employer, your entire work history, recent posts, mutual connections, where you went to school.
Just think about that. It's a live, instant dossier. And the weaponization part comes from the speed. If I have to go home and Google you, that's research. It takes work. But if I get that dossier the moment our eyes meet, the conversation is mine to control from the first word. That's context weaponization.
It just completely upends the power dynamic.
It does. The source makes a really smart distinction here. It says we usually fear being recognized, but we should actually fear being profiled.
What's the difference there?
Recognition is just, oh, that's Sarah. Profiling is, that's Sarah. She's a VP at a tech firm. She just posted about Q3 earnings and she went to Stanford. One is a name, the other is a playbook on how to manipulate you.
Which brings me to a question for you listening right now. I want you to really picture this. If a stranger walked up to you right now, wherever you are, what does your digital shadow tell them? Do they know your boss's name? Do they know you're looking for a new job? Drop a comment below if that thought makes you shudder, because it is definitely making me want to scrub my entire online life.
Yeah, it should be jarring. And that leads us right into the next section of the source, which is all about why this is so dangerous. It's called The Mechanics of Fraud.
This is the part that really clicked for me, because we think of fraud as like a technical problem, hacking, password breaches, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this source says social engineering, hacking humans, works because it feels completely normal.
Normal is the key word. An attacker establishes credibility by using context. If I know your world, I seem like I belong in it. The source says this new tech removes 3 specific barriers to doing that.
Okay, let's run through them. First up is friction.
Right. It removes friction. In the old days, and by old days I mean like last year, if I wanted to run a social engineering scam on you, I needed a research phase. I had to Google you, maybe stalk your social media. That's high friction.
It takes time.
It takes time and effort. Real-time context, though. There is no research phase. The attack can happen spontaneously with anyone I see.
So the barrier to entry for becoming a con artist just dropped to basically 0.
Pretty much. The second barrier it removes is guesswork.
Okay, what does that mean?
A traditional con artist has to make cold reads, like a psychic. You seem like you work in a stressful job. They're fishing for information. With this tech, they're doing a hot read. They aren't guessing you work in finance. The glasses are telling them you do, and for which company.
So assumptions are replaced by verified facts. That makes the lies so much harder to spot.
Infinitely harder. And the third one, which to me is the scariest, it removes reconnaissance.
The source has this line: days of research compressed into seconds of visual recognition.
That's the one. That's the whole ballgame right there. And the result of all this is that trust building, which used to take minutes, maybe hours, now happens in the very first sentence.
I was thinking about this. It's like when you're at a party and you meet someone and you're a little guarded, but then they say, "Oh, you know Sarah from marketing. We went to college together," and your guard just drops instantly.
Exactly. That's a shared context bridge. Your brain uses that as a shortcut. If they know Sarah, they're probably okay. They're in the tribe.
But this tech lets a total stranger fake that "I know Sarah" moment with anyone, anywhere instantly.
Precisely. It synthesizes that feeling of a mutual connection. And to really drive this home, the source gives 3 real-world scenarios that are terrifying because they're so mundane.
Let's walk through them because they really land the point. The first one is the networking event.
Right. So imagine you're at a mixer. A stranger comes up, but instead of, "Hi, what do you do?"
Yeah.
They look at you, the data pops up, and they say, "I saw your recent post about scaling operations in the Midwest. Really smart take on the logistics challenges."
Oof. Okay. My first thought is, wow, they read my work. They're in my field. This person is important. My guard is completely down.
Correct. The source calls this instant trust acceleration. You've let them into your circle because they demonstrated insider knowledge.
Okay, scenario 2. The coffee shop. This feels like it could happen tomorrow.
You're just waiting for your order. Someone turns to you and says, "Hey, didn't you used to work at that consulting firm downtown? I think we might have overlapped for a bit."
And naturally, I'd say, "Oh, yeah, I did." And I'm racking my brain, feeling bad that I don't recognize them.
And that feeling bad is the exploit. It's what the source calls an authority hijack via employment history. They've created a shared past that doesn't exist. Now you feel obligated to be nice, to help them because you feel like you should know them.
Oh, hey, since we're here, who's the best person to talk to in HR now?
Exactly. You're primed to give them information.
And the third one, the airport or travel scenario. This one really gets me because I'm always distracted when I travel.
A stranger at the gate says, "Your company just opened that new London office, right? Must be a crazy time for the team."
It immediately creates this false camaraderie. It implies we're in the same circles.
It's targeted impersonation based on company news. And the huge takeaway here from the source is that none of this involved hacking. No password breaches. Just using the context you made public, but at superhuman speed.
It's the ultimate shortcut. It skips the getting to know you phase and jumps right to the "I'm your trusted friend" phase.
Or, "I'm your trusted colleague, let me into the building." Which brings us to the core of the problem in the next section. The information asymmetry problem.
I'm a visual person, so I liked the way they laid this out. The data-rich party versus the data-poor party.
It's a fundamental imbalance. The person with the glasses, the data-rich party, knows your history, your network, your recent activities, and you, the data-poor party, know absolutely nothing about them except what they choose to tell you.
The source calls it a manipulation deficit.
And that's a perfect term for it. You are operating at such a disadvantage. It's like you're playing poker, but your cards are face up for everyone to see. You literally can't win a negotiation of trust.
Now, I know some people are probably thinking, but wait, isn't this tech supposed to be helpful for people who are bad with names? The source does address this, right, in the intent versus reality section.
It does, and it acknowledges the good intent. You know, opt-in memory assistance tools, that's a valid use case. No one's denying that.
Right.
But the fraud layer, as they call it, doesn't care about good intentions. The danger is determined by 3 factors, regardless of intent: signal speed, signal richness, and signal timing.
Okay, break those down. Signal speed.
How fast does the info arrive? If it's instant, the manipulation is seamless. If I have to pull out my phone and type, the moment's gone.
Signal richness.
How much info? Is it just your name?
Okay.
Or your name, your job, your last 3 projects, and your boss's name? The richer the signal, the more believable the lie.
And signal timing.
This is the key. Does it arrive during the interaction? If I see it while I'm shaking your hand, it's a weapon. If I look you up later that night, it's just research.
The quote that stood out to me here was, "Security is defined by exploitability, not the feature's intended purpose."
That's a core truth of technology. It doesn't matter what you built it for. What matters is how it can be abused. And we have to stop thinking this is about just one company. The next section is called This Isn't About Meta.
Right. They're the headline, but this is an industry-wide pattern.
Exactly. The source makes a critical point. The company making the glasses matters less than the fundamental question.
Which is, how much usable context about you is publicly available right now?
Yes, the hardware is just an accelerator. It speeds up access to the database that you built. You've already done the hard work for the scammers.
That is a terrifying way to put it. We are stocking the shelves for our own social engineering.
We are. And before we get into exactly how to start unstocking those shelves and locking things down, we should talk about staying ahead of this stuff.
Absolutely. This landscape changes so fast. So before we get into the defense strategies, the 5 steps you need to take, if you want to stay ahead of these tech shifts, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and CWADV channel. We have a lot of new stuff coming out, deep dives just like this one that you really don't want to miss. Just hit that subscribe button so you don't get left behind.
It's the best way to keep your own context informed.
Okay, let's look in the mirror. The next section is the source of the data, your digital footprint. We've touched on this, but the source lists very specific things that, honestly, most of us think are normal and safe to share.
This is where it gets really practical. The facial recognition doesn't create the risk, it just amplifies what's already there. Let's run down their list first. LinkedIn posts detailing projects and insights.
I do this constantly. So proud of my team for launching the Q3 roadmap.
Seems innocent, right? But that tells a scammer exactly what you're working on and gives them the vocabulary to sound like an insider.
Next on the list, conference photos with event tags.
Having a great time at the summit in Las Vegas. Now they know where you are in real time and who you're with. If they see a photo of you with your CEO, they know exactly whose name to drop to get your attention.
Okay, what about org charts and affiliations?
That gives them the entire hierarchy to fake authority, and it's often public. Then there's a subtle one, discoverable email format patterns.
How does that work?
Well, if I scan your face and get your name, and I know your company's email pattern is first name dot last name, I can send you a hyper-realistic phishing email before you've even walked away.
And the last one, tagged locations revealing travel and routines.
This creates what the source calls the compilation effect. Each data point alone seems harmless, but when they're all compiled instantly, it's a complete dossier.
So we're basically walking around with these invisible dossiers over our heads. How do we start erasing them? The source gives us a section called Defense Strategies, and thankfully it's not just go live in a cabin.
No, these are 5 very practical steps. Let's walk through them.
Okay, step 1, audit public signal.
This is your homework. Go open an incognito browser window and search for your own name. You need to see what a stranger sees, not what Google thinks you want to see.
What are we looking for? Or not looking for?
If the first page of results gives someone your employer, your current city, and a clear photo of your face, you have a problem. You need to start locking down those privacy settings.
All right. Step 2, reduce context density.
This is huge. Stop posting operational details. You can say you're excited about a new project without detailing the internal methodology and team members. Don't give them the script for the con.
Step 3, remove status signals.
This is a tough one for a lot of people. Eliminate real-time travel updates. No more on my way to the airport posts.
But if I don't post a picture of my boarding pass, did the trip even happen?
Post it when you get home. Throwback to an amazing trip last week. Posting in real time just broadcasts your exact location and that your house is empty.
That is such a simple shift. Post on a delay. I like that. Okay, step 4, separate identity signals.
You have to build a wall between your personal and professional online presence. Your LinkedIn shouldn't link to your public Instagram if that's where you post photos of your kids' school plays. Don't make it easy for them to pivot from professional contact to trusted family friend.
And step 5, this one is more of a mindset shift. Assume instant retrieval.
This is the golden rule. Before you post anything, anywhere, you have to ask yourself one question. Would I be comfortable with a complete stranger knowing this the second they meet me?
That changes everything, doesn't it? Because you're not posting for your friends anymore. You're posting for a potential adversary.
Exactly. If you wouldn't be comfortable shouting it in a crowded train station, maybe don't put it on the public internet in an age of context weaponization.
Assume instant retrieval. That is definitely going to stick with me. It's the new think before you click.
It has to be. Which brings us to the source's conclusion, the real shift.
The source says the danger isn't a dystopian future. The danger is normalized data extraction becoming the social default.
And it lays out the perfect storm where fraud thrives, trust accelerates, verification decreases, and context becomes cheap.
Context becomes cheap. That's such a powerful way to put it. Information that used to be valuable, that used to require effort to get, is now worthless as a signal of trust. But we're still wired to believe it's gold.
Our brains haven't caught up. We assume that someone knowing things about us means they're connected to us. It doesn't anymore. It just means they have an internet connection.
So the final provocative thought from the source is this. The question is no longer, will this technology exist? It's here. The real question is, how will you adapt your information exposure strategy?
It's not about fighting the hardware. It's about managing your own software, your digital footprint. You have to become the editor of your own life's available context.
I love that. Be the editor. So I have to ask you, our listener, which one of those 5 steps are you going to take today? Are you going to do the incognito search? Are you going to delete that travel post from last week?
Seriously, do the audit. You might be shocked at what you find.
Let us know in the comments. And remember that post on a delay rule. I think that's the easiest win for everybody.
Stay safe out there.
And stay informed. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.